Hi Taurus, welcome to your love reading for September 2019. Let's go ahead and see what kind of energies you have around your love life for the month of September. This is a love reading for the sign of Taurus for September 2019. The first card you have, Taurus, is the Seven of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for September, the Hangman. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for September, Nine of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for September, Prince of Swords, which would be the Knight of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for September, Justice. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for September, you have Judgment. Six of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for September. You have the Princess of Cups, which would be the Page of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for September. And you have Death. Okay, what's the most important thing that Taurus needs to hear about their love life for September 2019? The message that you have is the Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords is a red flag energy, so you might want to be really careful when making decisions as far as your love life in the month of September, because you do start with the Seven of Pentacles, which also has to do with choices and making decisions. This is telling you to take your time, because with the Five of Swords, you have perhaps the chance of making a very unwise decision. This could be ending a relationship, or for some of you, maybe even entering a relationship. We'll see how this card ties in with the rest of the reading. So let's see what you have going on here. Let's see what kind of energies you have. So you do have the Hangman here. This is the first thing that I'm drawn to. The Hangman does represent that you might be feeling really stuck right now. You might be feeling in limbo. It can be that some of you, maybe you're waiting for someone to make a decision about your relationship or your marriage. Because again, the first energy is, there's someone here who's really taking their time as far as what they're going to do next. This is strategizing. What would be my next move? It could be someone deciding whether they're going to come back to you, or you could be deciding whether you're going to come back to someone else, whether you're going to give them a second chance. I see someone here has not made up their mind. As far as a sign of Taurus, there's an energy of being in limbo here. But I do see you being extremely happy. You have the Nine of Cups, which means that you can be happy again if that's what you choose. I just feel like there's an energy here of decisions. What are you going to choose for yourself? The Nine of Cups is also wish fulfillment. You're getting exactly what you want. You also have, just here lined up with the Nine of Cups, you have the Judgment card, which does represent a new beginning for you. This could even be a second chance in a relationship. To me, this is a card maybe specifically for exes. We'll see when we do the X spread, because it represents a relationship rising from the ashes. But it can be for those of you who are single that there's a new person coming in where this is a second chance for you to be happy. This is a new beginning for you. It can be with someone who is a Libra, which is represented by the Justice card. But again, it's like the universe is trying to deliver a new beginning for the sign of Taurus. Justice does mean that it is your time to receive that happiness, that love that you did not receive in the past. It can also definitely be an apology for some of you, which would tie in with the main energy, the Five of Swords. Because the Five of Swords, there really is no way to sugarcoat this. This is negative energy, destructive energy. This is someone who made a very, very unwise decision, maybe that they're regretting. Because justice can be, again, an apology, someone trying to make things up to you. You have the Prince of Swords, which would be the Knight of Swords in the traditional tarot. There's very unpredictable energy around you for the month of September. It can be that, maybe there's, you feel you're stuck, you're in limbo as far as your love life, and then everything changes very quickly. To me, the Prince of Swords is like the Tower. Things just happen very, very quickly. Overnight, everything changes. I see you being stuck, but then I see you being extremely happy here, having perhaps even a wish fulfilled. And there is some type of second chance for you to be happy. The universe is trying to deliver to you. It can be with maybe someone that you want to reunite with, but be open, because it can also just be someone completely new, a brand new love interest coming in. You do have the Six of Cups here. So the Six of Cups, this would definitely be someone from the past. It can be that maybe there's a lot of thinking about an ex. Again, we are going to do the X spread in a minute. There's a lot of focusing on memories here. Now, right next to the Six of Cups, you have the Princess of Cups, which would be the Page of Cups in the traditional tarot. So there can definitely be communication with someone from the past, because the pages do represent communication. There can be communication with someone from your past, where again, there can be an apology. Someone could be letting you know maybe that they made a very unwise decision. Again, this is destructive energy. This is someone who sabotages, their own happiness and their own love. Their own love life. Now you have the Death card here. I mean, I feel like this can definitely be a transformation of a relationship where, again, something happened that was very unfair to the sign of Taurus, because justice usually does come up when you have been done wrong. And death does represent huge transformation, a big change in your love life. It can be something very significant happening in the month of September. For those who are single, it can be that there's somebody new coming in for you. The Six of Cups does not always have to be someone from the past. It can definitely be kind of a soulmate energy. Someone from perhaps a past life, if you believe in those things. So it can be, maybe a new love coming in for those of you who are completely single. This is just something that changes everything for the sign of Taurus. It can either be a new love, or it can be getting back together, a second chance with a soulmate that you really want to reunite with. Again, you have a chance here to be extremely happy in the month of September, even though you have some strange energy here. I mean, you have the Hangman, which means that perhaps starting the month, you're feeling in limbo. You feel like, nothing's changing, nothing's moving forward. Perhaps, there's been some unwise decisions. It could be, maybe the person that you love, or maybe it was you. Sometimes with the Five of Swords, it does represent have an empty victory. You got what you wanted. Maybe, you got who you wanted. Maybe you got together with someone and now you wish you never met the person. Sometimes that is represented by the Five of Swords. You do have a chance here to kind of remove that energy from your life, but you have to make a decision to move on. For those of you where you want that, where maybe you made a mistake with someone maybe who was not worth your time, because you do have Death, which means that everything can change for the sign of Taurus in the month of September. This can be, there can be a life kind of altering event as far as your love life, somebody new coming in, or you finally deciding to move on. Justice is on your side here. In some way, the universe is trying to deliver what you truly deserve. Okay, let's get a few more cards and see what other messages come through for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for September 2019? You have the Fool. Messages for the sign of Taurus for September. You have the Queen of Swords. Messages for the sign of Taurus for September. And the Princess of Swords. Okay, so you have another new beginning here. You have the Fool. So the Fool is telling you to trust. So this is a new opportunity for you. This can be a new relationship, because you also have the Judgment card underneath the Princess of Swords. There is some type of new beginning for you in the month of September. But the Fool is saying you're going to have to trust. This is a risky new opportunity. So it could be that maybe it is someone from the past. The Six of Cups, where maybe, there was something very negative that happened with this person. Maybe you just don't trust them anymore. The Fool is saying there are no guarantees. There are no guarantees. You're just going to have to just trust your gut here as far as, can you trust this person again? It can be someone that kept you in limbo, with the Hangman being here and the Seven of Pentacles. Maybe you are the one who's making a decision here with the Seven of Pentacles. You're having to be very careful as far as, are you going to let someone back in, especially if you're dealing with an air sign, because you have the Queen of Swords. Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. I see a new beginning here as far as the Fool, with possibly an air sign. If you have a moon or rising and an air sign, this can represent you. You also have, the Princess of Swords, which is the Page of Swords. There is communication. There can definitely be communication with someone from the past here, where you're hearing the truth. Maybe somebody's letting you know how they really feel. Maybe someone is letting you know that they are sorry. Just be careful, because you do have, again, this energy from the Five of Swords. The possibility of making a mistake, of making a very unwise decision. So you want to hear the truth if you are letting somebody back in, as far as a past relationship, especially a relationship where you really feel like you just don't, you don't trust this person anymore. Really follow your own intuition here with the Fool. Okay, let's get a few more cards from the confirmation deck and let's see what comes up there. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for September? You have the King of Wands. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for September? Five of Cups. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for September? And the Nine of Swords. What's the most important thing that Taurus needs to hear about their love life for September 2019? Wow, so the Hangman is your repeat card. There's one here and there's one here. Same card, different deck. So this is a strong message for you for the month of September. You might just be feeling like you're stuck, but remember that you're not really stuck. The Hangman is all about perspective. So if you're viewing yourself as, just kind of stuck in your love life, you're stuck in a rut, until you stop thinking that way, things are not going to change. Again, this has to do with some type of decisions. It's something I keep getting for the sign of Taurus. When are you going to decide to move on? Or for some of you, when are you going to decide to let them back in? If somebody's trying to come back into your life, you have decisions to make. Otherwise, you're going to stay in limbo here, which you don't want to do. Okay, so let's look at these three cards. You have the King of Wands, which would be a fire sign. Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. It can even represent you if you have a moon or rising in a fire sign. Now, around this fire sign energy, I do see a lot of unhappiness. The Five of Cups is sadness, tears, someone that is just kind of lost in their own pain, dwelling on this loss. They can't let go. They can't shake it off. They can't move on. There's also a lot of agonizing here with the Nine of Swords. The Nightmare card. I mean, this is someone that is just constantly thinking, very negative thoughts, especially with the Hangman being here twice. I feel like if this represents you, perhaps you're doing a lot of agonizing over this fire sign. Either way, I mean, I see that there's a lot of anxiety here, a lot of worrying. Maybe you're worrying that they're not going to come back. Maybe you're worrying that, you're not going to be able to forgive them. You're not going to be able to move on from what happened. I just see a lot of thinking here, and this is kind of imagining the worst. A lot of fear is coming up for you, but I also see a sense of sadness here. It could be maybe that you're unable to move on from a relationship that has ended, because again, the Hangman 2 times, it's like the sign of Taurus for some reason is in limbo. You're stuck. You're not moving on. But again, you have to change the way that you're thinking. The Hangman is all about perspective. So if you're thinking that you're stuck, then you truly are. Again, this could also be the unwise decision that I see here with the Five of Swords. If you know that it's time to move on, but you're still holding on, then you're just sabotaging your own happiness. You do have Judgment here. There is a second chance for you to find happiness, for you to find love. I see you being extremely happy here with the Nine of Cups. There could be a huge transformation with the Death card. But again, what are you going to choose? Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the X spread using this deck right here. I've already shuffled it, so let me just get these out of the way. And as always with the X spread, it can be someone that you had a long-term committed relationship with, but it can even be someone that maybe you just dated a few times and you want to know if you're going to hear from them again. Let's see what comes up for you, Taurus. Show us the energies around Taurus and their ex for September. First card is the Nine of Pentacles. Taurus and their ex for September. The Devil. Taurus and their ex for September. Knight of Pentacles. Taurus and their ex for September. Four of Wands. Taurus and their ex for September. Six of Cups. Taurus and their ex for September. The Sun. Taurus and their ex for September. The Hierophant. Taurus and their ex for September. The High Priestess. Taurus and their ex for September. And the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so let's see what you have going on here, Taurus. You do have the Six of Cups here, which this is a repeat card. I'm looking at it right here because you had this in the first spread as well, which does represent the past. So again, we are focusing on exes now. So I mean, I feel like there's, the connection with your ex is still there, and this is surrounded by very positive energy. You always have to consider, not just because you see the soulmate card, what is next to it. And what you have is the Sun and the Four of Wands. The Sun does represent success, which means that things can still work out with your ex. There can still be love. There can still be positive energy. There can still be a new beginning. I also see stability here with the Four of Wands. This does represent commitment, a long-term relationship, even marriage. There's still that connection to your ex. However, there is some really negative energy here with the Devil. So for some of you, your ex can definitely be a Capricorn. The Devil represents a sign of Capricorn, but it also means that there is a lot of harsh energy, especially because the main energy for you from the first spread was the Five of Swords, which means that, you know, there was something there that was pretty destructive. So that energy is still there as far as you and your ex. Now you have the Knight of Pentacles here, which means that if things are going to change between you and your ex, this is going to take time. The Knight of Pentacles is all about, you know, kind of slow progress, baby steps. Can be that maybe, you know, you and your partner or you and your ex, you really need to really focus on yourself right now. You have the Nine of Pentacles, which is a really kind of independent energy, someone that really needs to focus on themselves, you kind of come full circle as an individual, see themselves in a positive way, because right now there's just a lot of negativity here. So it can be you or it can be your ex, where somebody just needs some time. There's slow progress here, but I do see a lot of positive energy around this connection with your ex, which is represented by the Six of Cups. Now you also have the Hierophant, which does represent the sign of Taurus. So this can be your energy, but if your ex is also a Taurus, this is them. Now around this Hierophant energy, you have the High Priestess, which is saying trust your intuition. What is your intuition telling you? Is this person worth your time? Is this person going to return? You know the answer to that. The Hierophant does, you know, represent spiritual energy, just like the High Priestess. So I feel like you have a really strong spiritual connection with this person. The Hierophant does represent kindred spirits and soulmates. You know where you belong. That is a message from the Hierophant. And again, you have to really trust your intuition. Is this person meant to be in your life? Only you know the answer to that. You do have the Six of Pentacles right next to it. So this is about what you truly deserve, not what you want. So it could be that you really want this person, but they may not be the best person for you. This is about what you truly, truly deserve. Your intuition is really speaking to you in the month of September. Okay, let me get a few more cards. Let's see what other messages come up for you, Taurus. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus about their ex for September? You have the Five of Pentacles. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus about their ex? The Ace of Swords. Messages for the sign of Taurus about their ex. And the Queen of Swords. Interesting, because you also had the Queen of Swords from the first deck. So for those of you where your ex is, here it is. This is a repeat card because you had the Queen of Swords. I'll put her here. You had the Queen of Swords in the first spread. So this would be an air sign. Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Male or female, sun, moon, or rising. This can even be you if you have a moon or rising in an air sign. What I see here is, you know, there is a lot of suffering. The Five of Pentacles. This also is a card, you know, of somebody just completely shutting you out of their life. Leaving you in the dark. Somebody just disappearing. Not letting you in emotionally even. There could be a change of perspective here. You have the Ace of Swords. It can even be for some of you where, you know, again, somebody just completely shut you out of their lives. That in the month of September, you could be really seeing the truth. Because the Ace of Swords does represent truth and clarity. So some of you could be hearing the truth, especially if you have no answers. I hear that all the time. Somebody just disappeared from my life and I don't know what happened. In the month of September, you could be gaining clarity as far as why somebody disappeared, but you can also be gaining clarity as far as, you know, why you and this person could not really make it work. Because sometimes the Five of Pentacles means that things just fizzled out. There was no more spark. There was no more connection. Maybe you didn't feel a connection to them anymore, or they didn't feel a connection to you. There is clarity around this with the Ace of Swords. But it can also be, again, it's a general reading, so I try to go over all the possible scenarios. That with the Ace of Swords, in order to really make things work, which I feel that you can, because you do have the Six of Cups surrounded by the Four of Wands and the Sun, that somebody needs to change the way that they're thinking. You did have the Hangman twice. The Hangman is all about perspective. Until somebody changes the way that they're thinking, your love life, your connection with your ex, is going to stay in limbo. Somebody has to change the way that they're thinking. Otherwise, no one's going anywhere. Everything will stay the same. Again, there is some really harsh energy here from the devil. It could be that maybe it was a very negative relationship. Maybe there were a lot of negative behavior patterns. One or both people have to really grow here, with the Nine of Pentacles being the first card. Somebody has to, one or both of you, I won't say which one or both of you has to really see yourself in a really positive light. This is about self-confidence and self-worth. It could be even that you have to put yourself first. If it was a really negative relationship, think of yourself first. And there's slow progress for the sign of Taurus as far as reuniting with this ex. But you do have positive energy around the Six of Cups. You have the Four of Wands and the Sun, which is the most positive card in the deck. This is about you getting what you truly deserve. Because the Six of Pentacles, again, it represents what you deserve, not what you want. So if you deserve better, then you might really see yourself kind of moving in a different direction. Your intuition is speaking to you in the month of September. You know where you belong. You know who you belong with. Okay, let me get a few more cards from the confirmation deck. Let me just give them a quick shuffle. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus about their ex? September 2019. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus about their ex? September 2019. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus about their ex? September 2019. Okay, let's see what comes up for you, Taurus. You have the Moon. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus? The Page of Wands. And the Six of Swords. Okay, what's the most important thing that Taurus needs to hear about their ex? September 2019. Two of Wands. So Two of Wands is a message of waiting, delays. So, I mean, I already kind of saw this with the Knight of Pentacles, because Knight of Pentacles does represent slow movement, slow progress. So you may not see, well, I mean, it's a general reading, so it's hard to say, but some of you may not see kind of huge, major breakthroughs with your ex in the month of September, because there's still some really strong negativity here. What does this mean for you? Is this how things ended? Was it a really ugly, messy breakup? Was it a toxic relationship where you know you don't even belong there anymore? There's just really strong negativity here from the devil. There is waiting. For those of you where you really are meant to be together, which some of you are, because you have a lot of spiritual energy here. The Hierophant and the High Priestess. There is a really strong pull towards this person. Maybe some of you can't move on because you know that you really belong with this person. There's just waiting with the Two of Wands. Delays and waiting. Maybe you're waiting for them to change the way that they're thinking. The Ace of Swords. Waiting for them to have clarity, but it can also just be you. Now here, you might be dealing with a Pisces, which is represented by the Moon, but the Moon just also means that there's a lot of things you don't know about your ex. For some of you, it can be because you're not in touch with them, but if you are, it could just be that maybe they're not telling you everything. To me, I mean, there's a lot of meanings for the Moon energy, but to me, the strongest message from the Moon is that looks are deceiving. You don't really know everything. There are a lot of things that are being hidden from you. There are a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes with your ex. Now, I do see communication here. The Page of Wands does represent good news. You did have, I'm looking at it here, you had the Princess of Cups, which is the Page of Cups in the first spread. So there can be communication with your ex. But, I mean, I feel with this Page of Wands being next to the Six of Swords that in order for things with your ex to really improve, which is represented by the Six of Swords, this is a healthy change. This is things changing with your ex, kind of moving away from a really difficult time, being in a much healthier relationship. There has to be a significant change for one or for both of you, which is tying in with the Nine of Pentacles. I feel like there has to be change as far as who you both are as individuals. Because this is adventure, excitement, kind of really moving forward in a really positive way together. But what this Moon energy does not really fit into this. It could be that there's still lies, there's deceit. Someone could be in denial here, self-deceit. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of fear. I feel like there's a strong energy here. I mean, I'm getting that from this reading for the sign of Taurus. There's a strong energy that you can reunite with your ex. Something is blocking you. Something is blocking you from getting back together with this person. Because again, I mean, look at this. The Six of Cups, which is your ex, surrounded by the most positive card, success and commitment, you know, a card of marriage and stability. And you also have a really strong spiritual connection here. But I mean, you've also got the Devil and the Five of Pentacles and the Moon, which means that there's something there. There's some strong negativity. And again, there is suffering here, which can be you. Maybe you're suffering that you're not with the person that you love. But it can be, again, that maybe things kind of fizzled out and that spark, that connection was not there. For some of you, maybe that's just meant to be that way. But it can be maybe where there is some clarity, where maybe you really you didn't know what was going on, represented by the Moon. There is a message here of deceit, things being hidden, and then clarity. So it can be that maybe you're finding something out about your ex in the month of September. Let me take a look at the spread and see what else stands out here. So you do have 3 sixes. You have the Six of Swords, the Six of Cups, and the Six of Pentacles. So you have 3 sixes here. The sixes do represent balance and harmony. So, I mean, I feel for those of you where, you know, it's like you have no answers, like you don't really know why this person just ended things. Maybe things ended abruptly. And again, you have no answers. I hear that all the time. The sixes, again, they represent balance and harmony. It could be that something was just completely, you know, out of balance in this relationship. Maybe, you know, somebody was always getting their way and the other person was left out in the cold. Maybe somebody ended the relationship over that. Could be power struggles. I mean, again, with these sixes, this is balance and harmony. There was something that was completely off balance that maybe worked against the relationship. But again, it's a matter of personal change, with the Nine of Pentacles being first. It can't be that you have to put yourself first. You have to really think of yourself first before you allow this person back into your life, because there is still a lot of negative energy there. But it could be also that your ex has, you know, some work to do on themselves before they can be ready for a relationship. Again, there's perhaps with the Moon a lot of things that you're not aware of, a lot of things that are hidden from you, either because you're not talking to them or because they're choosing not to tell you certain things. This can represent deceit. But I feel like there can be communication with your ex in the month of September, with the Page of Wands being here. This is always good news. And again, with the Six of Swords, this would be things changing for the better. This would be a healthy relationship. You're leaving a really difficult time behind you. So that possibility is there for the sign of Taurus, especially for those of you where you have an ex who is an air sign, with the Queen of Swords being here 2 times. Okay, Taurus, this has been your love reading for September 2019. If you would like a private reading with me for your own personal situation, just go to my website, channeledguidance.com, and I'll put a link down below. Hope you enjoyed the reading, and I'll speak to you again next month.